Hello, I'm Yonden Lhatoo at the South China Morning Post. Let's talk about hate today, starting with this quote from George Orwell's great dystopian novel 1984. A hideous ecstasy of fear and vindictiveness, a desire to kill, to torture, to smash faces in with a sledgehammer seemed to flow through the whole group of people like an electric current, turning one, even against one's will, into a grimacing, screaming lunatic. This is how Orwell describes the mob being whipped up into a frenzy of irrational hatred. And it sounds like your pretty much average friendly neighborhood rally with bricks and petrol bombs outside any Hong Kong police station on any given night. Except that in Hong Kong, in the year 2019, there is no need for the state-sanctioned 2 minutes of hate sessions that citizens depicted in Orwell's cautionary tale are required to attend daily. Many Hong Kongers are doing it for themselves in a citywide epidemic of ill will. Just look at what's happening all around us, on the sidelines of the mass anti-government rallies and violent clashes between protesters and police. A registered nurse at a public hospital posts a message against the police force on social media, recommending medical sabotage against officers seeking treatment by subjecting them to improper resuscitation, dangerous urinary tract procedures, or surgery without anesthesia. A vice principal at a Christian school posts a message on his Facebook page to express his hope that the children of those policemen who have used excessive force die before 7 years old, or die an unnatural death before the age of 20 years, should they now already be 7 or older. A police officer's child comes home crying from school, complaining about being picked out in front of the whole class with a picture of a dog drawn on the blackboard for an innuendo-filled discussion, the word for man's best friend being the signature insult that protesters hurl at law enforcers. The protest movement and its supporters are getting their share of hate too, as evidenced by the attacks against them by gangs of thugs, or local residents turning vigilante because of the constant chaos and disruptions in their neighborhoods, according to their defenders. One particular pro-establishment lawmaker, who has been linked by the protesters to a mob that went on a rampage against them, has been the target of such animosity that his parents' graves were trashed, possibly the worst insult one can deliver in a culture steeped in traditional Confucian values of filial piety and reverence for ancestors. All this is just the tip of the iceberg. While the rest of the civilized world is trying to rein in hate speech through social media platforms in particular, it's the Wild West out here in Hong Kong. Libelous accusations, vile abuse, open threats, criminal calls to arms, dangerous incitement, all that and more are proliferating in plain sight on social media platforms such as Facebook that enable this toxic culture. Just read the Facebook comments on this video. I rest my case. It's even worse on unregulated messaging apps and forums online that allow the perpetrators to remain anonymous and avoid legal consequences. The breakdown of law and order is worrying enough, but far more troubling is the disintegration of basic human decency, the tearing asunder of the social fabric, and the crumbling of civil society as we know it. You can take it for granted that law and order will eventually be restored in the city over the coming weeks or months, one way or another, whether by means of a political solution or unleashing the full power of the state. But there is no guarantee of a corresponding recovery when it comes to what we have lost in terms of our essential humanity. I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear, Martin Luther King once said. Thanks, but no thanks, Dr. King. We're sticking with hate for now in Hong Kong.